basically, a caregiver never quite knows what they will find in their day. Their patient or their loved one could be having a nice, easy day, or they could be having a troublesome day. Tricky day where you, the caregiver, don't know when to eat or what to eat, don't even remember that you need to eat. And so this series of videos is for you. We are going to look at quick foods, fast foods, easy foods, storage of foods, fortifying foods, enriching foods. Something I learned today about transitioning your palate. We are going to talk about all that with Linda, a nutritionist, and we are looking at how to take care of your stomach, your nutritional needs, as you take care of another person. Because this goes empty, you go empty. And that is not good. So, karibuni. Care friends, let me bring Linda to you. She's a nutritionist, a friend of Suruvi, a friend of Caregivers, a friend of your stomach, a friend of how your body works, what the food does in your body, why it does that, when it does that. You want to listen to her. It is good for you. Karibu sana, Linda.
Thank you, Rhoda. So exciting to be a part of this and to be a part of Suruvi. I'm delighted to be here today.
Thank you for being here.
Yes.
Linda, so the picture in my head is a caregiver who in the past 7 days, in the past 1 month, in the past 2 months, sometimes even 6 months, they have been commuting, doctor's office, hospital ward, marketplace, new things that the patient needs to eat, different things from what they've been eating, maybe reactions, counter reactions to medication, all of that, and their entire attention is on the patient. And that is supported by all the visitors who come to visit, who bring milk, sugar, things from the supermarket, juice, Ribena, Lucozade,
Yes.
you know, those things you take to patients.
Yes.
And all that is for the patient. How does this caregiver take care of themselves? That's what I want for us to talk about.
Yes.
Introduce us to nutrition.
All right. So I like the aspect that you just mentioned about how the caregiver is sitting in a place, taking care and pouring out their lives to this particular patient, watching the patient's people bring the patient food, all the glucoses and everything. Many times they pour out their lives to the patients, forgetting themselves, when the caregiver actually also needs to be taken care of. Now, what does a nutrition for a caregiver looks like? That is all the vegetables. Those are all the food groups of nutrition. It's not very complicated. When I tell you proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins and minerals, you switch off because it's like, what are those?
Especially the vitamins, because then they get classified B1, B2, I don't know what else.
Folate. You're like, what is that and how do I eat all those things? So I'm just going to take you through, like, literally carbohydrates are the things like the ugali. I had you the ugali is the rice, the pasta, the brown ugali. Mostly I'm going to talk about brown because your health is your wealth. Your wealth is your health, actually. Yes.
Yeah.
Then the proteins is the chicken, the meats, the lentils, mostly plant-based proteins are really super awesome to eat. Then we have the vitamins and minerals. We have the spinach, the apples, the bananas, the skumas, the tereres. And we're so lucky in Africa, we have access to every single vegetable and every single thing we could need in seasons in our local markets.
Yes.
We can even have the local kitchen gardens because our weather is so amazing. It accommodates all the growth of everything. So I think talking about nutrition in Africa is a beautiful thing because you can access it very easily.
Yes.
Actually, you can access it very easily. What was the most complicated thing about nutrition? Did you want me to?
Maybe a place to start would be because you said our health is our wealth.
Yes.
How does what we eat or not eat affect our mental wellness? Why is that important? Because Suruvi is about the emotional and mental wellness, wholeness, self-care of the caregiver. So apart from umeshiba, apart from you're well-fed.
Yes.
Well-fed meaning you're ready to get into a food coma, that your belly is full. What are the things that would help us function better, sustainably, wholesomely, as we take care of another human being?
I think that's a very good question. Thank you for that. I'd give you the plate. You know the plate, right? You can eat your food and get very full, but what have you eaten? You could eat 3 samosas and you're very full, plus a soda, and you're full, but all those are empty calories and fats. You're feeding yourself with food that does not add anything to your mental health. And mental health, we've had, is very important because the food that you eat affects your mental health. If you eat a food balance, a diet that is balanced, that is, half of that plate needs to be vegetables. But I'm thinking about a caregiver and how much time they have to actually sit down and eat this whole half plate of vegetable. So what I would advocate is to incorporate things like smoothies into the diet. So as a caregiver, you can make your smoothie the previous night, blend it up, and then store it in the fridge and carry it in the morning, because you don't have time to start sitting down when your patient is waking up at 6, needs to take medicine probably at 7. So you need to have that smoothie with you and just go with it on the run. Then you can plan things like nuts and the yogurts at like that 10 o'clock, you have that with some fruits, let me say oranges. Then that's a quick snack. You already have it pre-packed in your bag. That's as you've left, maybe the patient is being cleaned up or there's something happening to the patient, or maybe they've fallen asleep. So you run quickly and you have your yogurt and you have your nuts. Then you go take care of your patient. And at lunchtime, you can have that ugali, which is supposed to be the fist size, Rhoda. If you do this is the size of your ugali. Because I'm thinking of a caregiver who is walking around, so probably would need to increase the size of their ugali.
Yes, because this is a very small
I can see like it's a very small feast.
What are you
so
saying?
You're thinking, how will I eat this ugali so small? So literally the caregiver needs to look at, because I'm doing my energy in and my energy out need to be equal. Otherwise, if you are putting in more energy, so you're losing more than you're eating, you tend to lose weight and you can actually become anorexic. You can start having all these, it can go either way, obesity or anorexia, because you're not taking care of yourself well. So you need to look at your plate even at lunchtime. Do you have the half plate of vegetables? At lunchtime, you can get like 20 minutes. Eat those cabbages, eat that steamed, and then also looking at the methods that food has been cooked. I'm thinking of a caregiver who didn't pack lunch. So if there's a cafeteria, you look for somebody who steamed the vegetables. So you choose foods that were probably prepared differently, just to be able to get all the nutrients from the vegetables and everything from the protein, that is maybe beans, just to avoid eating meat every single day. You go get your food from a different place every time, so that you're not eating the same thing every time. Because let me say, if you're working in Nairobi Hospital, a vending machine would be the quickest lunch option.
Packet of crisps.
A packet of crisps.
And the Lucozade.
Yes, and it's a quick drink and you're done, you're full, so you need to get back to work. But I'm thinking taking care, because if you do not eat your food as medicine, then Rhoda, you will eat your medicine as food.
Wow.
Yes.
Eat your food as medicine.
Yes.
And I also liked what you said about, considering how much energy you're giving out, so that then you know how much energy you need in, and that is balanced also with the time that you have for eating. And this speaks to our bigger subject, that is, we say caregiving, self-care is mindful caregiving and caretaking. The two have to balance, caregiving and caretaking, receiving care.
Yes, and also giving care. That's so beautiful.
And often it is you're the one giving yourself said care, because we do not have people running after people who look well. We see people running after the person who is unwell, not the person who looks well. I read a while ago, that our personality changes with the foods that we eat or don't eat. You can get cranky. You can be a happy person.
Yes.
You can look old and worn. Yes. You can look young and vibrant purely with the medicine you're taking, if you take your food as medicine.
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And that is the mental health aspect that I want us to get through the next few videos. What does the food do to you? It's not just about filling up your stomach.
Yes.
It is what is it doing? Why are you taking? Why is ugali good for you, whereas rice is better for another person? You know, why is red meat good for you, whereas for another person, white meat would be the problem? You know, because we are very different, all of us.
Yes,
and what works for me may not work for you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I may be going sugar-free, vegan. I may not be able to afford meats because now we are buying medication for the sick person. It may be that we are not able to cook food twice, one that is saltless and one that has salt. So do we just suffer through food? What do we do?
Yes. How do you adjust?
How do you
adjust when you're taking care of a person in the house at the very level? It's just to make the food as delicious as possible by incorporating all the necessary nutrients and maybe into the flour, so that even the person who is being taken care of doesn't feel like an outcast, like, oh, I'm making you guys suffer, you know, because now you have to adjust to my food, in the sense that to make that healthy food as attractive to me as it is to that caregiver. You understand? Like, if I can eat it, then they can eat it too. So you're not the person being taken care of is like, oh, I'm struggling when I'm in prison, but that they feel, okay, this is actually good food, is to look at the recipes. There are so many recipes to look at, in the sense that everybody in the house can feel this is good food. Anybody can eat this.
That prison thing, so that then you also don't feel that we are waiting for this person to get better.
Yes.
Then we can go back to normal.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
this becomes how you eat your food, because it is good for you in this way. You're not looking for like prison sentence. I like that.
Yes.
I like
and
that.
the funniest thing is, you find when you start to eat, like having done I have personally done like the Daniel diet, which is you boil and you mix like half, you eat vegetables through the day, fruits and the plain yogurts and all that stuff. And after about 21 days, you feel stronger, energetic. Then you ask yourself, was it the sugar? Was it the oil? What am I feeding myself, you know?
Yes.
Because without these things, you actually end up feeling more energetic. And it doesn't mean like a complete cut from sausage and from all these. It's that balance. You need to balance out. It doesn't mean that you're not going to eat chapati or you're not going to eat mandazi. We need to learn how to balance.
Because I like my cake.
Yes.
I like my cake.
And I like my crisps. But you see, you need to balance it out. Yes.
Yeah.
It's all about balancing it out and just seeing the vegetables. You're having your fruits. You're not frying all your food. You're choosing cooking methods very consciously, and you're being intentional with how you're cooking, how you're eating.
All right, great.
Yes.
So question, Linda, how do you want us to see, how do you want us to learn in the next few videos? Do I take, I as the viewer, do I walk around with a notebook to take in everything that you say, or how do you want us to listen?
I want you to listen in the sense of application. How can you apply what I'm saying? How can you apply the foods that I'm taking you through? Because if I say, okay, at 10 o'clock, 10, you take yogurt, at 10 o'clock, at 5, or yogurt and nuts. If you don't have yogurt, what are you going to take instead of that? You can have your hibiscus tea with the nuts. If you don't have nuts, what are you going to take? You can have a slice of brown bread with that hibiscus tea. It's that application is what is very key. So you listen and you watch with a keen eye to be able to apply where necessary, how you can adjust yourself. So you're not snacking on 3 samosas at break time, you know?
Yes.
And then at lunchtime you have 2 packets of crisps. Like, you are going to literally apply, okay, before I have this crisps, or maybe I can have this crisps on Friday. Today, let me have a plate of vegetables at 10 o'clock, steamed vegetables. Yeah. Or let me have my smoothie at 10 o'clock. Instead of ordering in, let me say you have at Nairobi Hospital, there's a restaurant, and you see, I'm sure there's a healthy segment. You probably just lock your eyes to seeing it. So you say, no, today I'm going to actually have peppermint juice. Let me have that with maybe a bowl of nuts. Now you change your perspective on what you can snack on, what a comfort food can be. I want to take you through comfort food snacks, you know. What can you actually have instead of having this? You have this instead.
And sometimes it's a question of cost, that healthier foods are pricey. The donut is 20 shillings. The sandwich that has tomatoes and whatnots that looks healthier and that Linda said is healthier is costs 50 or 100 shillings. Help. I have 20 shillings.
Let me tell you something, Rhoda. It starts in the mind.
It does.
Where are you going to buy? A banana is 10 shillings. A packet of nuts is like 15 shillings. If you really check, your health is your wealth. So even if a sandwich if you cannot afford the sandwich in the restaurant, why not make it at home? Buy a tomato, which is 10 shillings. Buy an egg, boil that egg, crush it, put it in that, and then toast it. And you have that with an avocado. Cut half of it, put it in your tin, and have that instead of always buying, because even buying from a restaurant could be a bit more expensive.
Yes, it is.
Healthy food is not expensive.
Noted, Linda.
It is not expensive.
Noted. Okay, the banana is 10 shillings.
It's 10 shillings.
I agree.
The mango is 20 shillings.
Yes. Away with the donut.
Yes.
Well, at least have the donut once a month.
Once a month.
And
even
then do
once
all the
in 2
bananas.
weeks. Yes. Do
Okay.
away with it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have we agreed?
We have agreed. It starts here.
Okay.
It starts here.
in the mind.
All right. So, dear viewers, listen to apply.
Yes.
Listen to apply. It's going to be fun. The next 3 videos, they're going to be fun.
Yes.